Deb's Live, and I'm popping over here for a couple of housekeeping things, kind of get you caught up because I have not been on here for I want to say 3 days, right? Though Sunday is my honey's day, and so he gave me a look, so it's probably going to be a little bit short, but I have Happy Mail here, so I want to get to Happy Mail, discuss with you a new thing. Yes, I was contacted by a former teacher, a retiree, and we talked yesterday on Messenger, and then I gave her the okay to give this organization my number. I'm very well aware of this organization. So there's a new mission. Right now, I actually pulled everything out of the tops that I already have, and I'm just going to make them work. We're going to work on this. They're for Christmas. I'll let you know know more in detail once the lady gets back to me. But I'll give you a heads up. How about that? I'm going to give you a heads up on a lot of things because a lot of things have changed since I've been back to work. And my body's definitely telling me I need to slow it down. So good morning, Annette and Julie and Melanie, Muriel, Lori, Andrea, Dawn, Catherine, I said Melanie, sorry, E. Marie, and Joyce. So I've got this stuff to open. I'm just going to move this stuff because I have to keep organized with this. I'm working on this. I will tell you what this is all about here, and we're going to go from there. So a couple of things. Let's show you this on my board. This has actually been on my design wall now for 4 days. So I'm going to show you this. You have not seen this. You've seen me make this quilt and work on this quilt, but you actually haven't seen it yet. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Let me try to zoom out more. I'm going to be moving my camera. Let's see. Let's see if I could move. There we are. I think I've got a lot of it in. All right. So this here is, I've got to put it, this here is that indelible mix here. This came from Carmen's Quilt Shop, and I'm done with it. It's beautiful. This here is Anna Marie Perry fabric that she had sent to me. This other fabric is from the Robin Pickens line, Wildflowers. I used the ombre panel to get the different colors that I cut out. And then there was some, that was from, see, this was all from that ombre. This here and the red were a coordinate. Oh, and this green, the green and red were a coordinate from this line. And I don't have much Tilda. We just all were talking about Tilda. I didn't think I owned Tilda, but I found Tilda in my scrap bin when I was looking for other colors. So this here was like a 6-inch or a 9-inch strip of Tilda. This was here and this. So there's some Tilda thrown in here, these 3. They made it to my stash. Go figure. Who knew that I had that? I thought I saw that in a post. I did. I posted it. I just didn't. Hi, Linda. Oh, I'm glad you're on here. Hi, Sherry, because one of the Happy Mail is from you. And there's another one, but I don't know your tag on. So you'll know who you are because I know that your tag name on YouTube is different from what's on the package. So I worked on this. I'm going to take this down. It's ready to be quilted. My honey loves this. He really loves this. So I may put a big border around this. We have a king size bed and use it as a topper. So I'm going to put this on the side. And because we love this so much, I'm going to take this with me to Puerto Rico so I could use this with my scraps. So I already have a suitcase. I have suitcases, and every time I find something for Puerto Rico, I put it in the suitcase. So this is going to go into the suitcase to there. Trying to build my stash. Some other things. So I did these when I came home on Thursday and Friday. Thursday was my first day back. I was tired and I didn't want to go live, but I wanted to sew a little because obviously I hadn't sewed in that mornings. Those mornings I did not sew. I was getting myself ready. And we saw that I started these. So I have one goes here with the little tail and the eyes going this way. And then I have, let's see, we'll move that there. And then now I have another ghost. And this ghost here has like the little wispy tail looking thing that I made going this way and the eyes closer to here. So my thought is that I actually was possibly just going to fill this in with patchwork, this in with patchwork, more patchwork. I was going to do 3. It's too long and it's too much. So I have some squares of fabric in here. So I cut squares and then I had that rest of that charm pack. So I'm just going to fill this up and work on that this week when I get home because it's just like non-thinking kind of easy thing. Those ghosts are so cute. I added ears to one ghost to make it a cat. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's such cute ideas. I went ahead and kind of did this. I ended up not making, both of my ghosts have little bows. They're both like little ghostettes. And I may put little noses, applique little noses. I don't know. This is a total, hi quote wench. This is a total just, I don't know. Just non-thinking using my scraps kind of thing. And as you can see, I have bars here. The chips are here. And I had regular squares. I'm just really tired. I just feel like exhausted. I don't know why. I feel like I have it's just this weird energy. It was so good yesterday. I went to Anna's house for dinner. She cooks tremendously delicious. And I needed that. I needed just not even to cook at my house. So that was great. Hi, Joe. So we have that. I have that to show you. I also have this. So yesterday on and off throughout the day, even though we left at noon, so it was mostly in the morning, I wasn't up necessarily for a live again because I woke up at 7:30 and I just was kind of like feeling weird. So I pulled out this. I think I've showed you the quilt kit that was gifted to me. So fall-like, right, acorns. And I said I want to put a squirrel in here. I found a squirrel pattern. And it's a free squirrel pattern. It's on the Tilda site. Tilda has a squirrel. She actually has her own version of squirrel and acorn quilt. And so this is going to be a blend of this quilt and her quilt because I'm going to use that squirrel. And we're either going to put the squirrel in the center or the squirrel on the side. I haven't decided how the squirrel is going to be, but we're going to have a squirrel in that. And I started this morning while I was listening to Deb. I was trimming up my HSTs, and these are the tops of the acorns right here. And then this here is the little stem. I haven't even cut out the bottom part. And with that, I'm groggy anyway today, so I'll probably go back and take it easy. The other thing that happened, and then it was like, I'll show you this other thing. So I woke up about 6 o'clock this morning, about 6:30 maybe. And let me show you. Hi, Helen. Ready? Here we are. Good morning, Deb and Joydy. I'm moving. There is my honey's Jets quilt. Yes, I had to tell Anna his story and out him. He sees all the NICU blankets go out of the house. He sees all the other quilts that leave this house. And he's like, when am I going to get my quilt? And I remind him, honey, you got your quilt like the first month that we were dating. He goes, yeah, but I don't even know where that quilt is. You have it packed away somewhere. And I do, because it was really small. And, when we cohabitated together, there's things that we can't have out. I have it. We can use it, but it's not something that's on our bed. And so I made him his Jets quilt. You saw me working on it. And so he's all excited. He loves it. It's exactly what he loves. Loved it. And he's like, but that's not big enough to go on our bed. And I said, it's not meant to go on our bed. There's no way that a Jets quilt is going to be on our bed. Because like right now I have the spider web quilt from the Ginger Quilter box that I made last year. So I said, no, this is for your personal use on the couch or on the chair. So he's like, well, when is it going to get quilted? And I said, well, the long arm has to be put back together because the long arm went out to get worked on and then it came back. So there it is. It's back. I had been working on this, right, yesterday into today. Yeah, the thing has to go back in the shop because the same reason is happening again, which is a bummer. Is a bummer because I have a new mission. And the new mission, I don't know what to call it, my new Pass It Forward. The new Pass It Forward, I don't know the total of quilts. She thinks it's a 15-bed house. So let me explain. I will have more information, but I know they're working with, it's like I don't want to say an offshoot of Family of Woodstock, which is something that helps all the families in our area, our kiddos, if they become houseless, if there's food insecurity, if they need clothing. It's just a big organization that helps you out. And out in, they do all of like Ulster, Orange, Dutchess, I think. And there's a home in Rosendale, New York, that she believes is a 15-bedroom, not a 15-bedroom, but a 15-bed home that houses. I didn't like the language she used, so I have a hard time repeating that language because it breaks my heart, because I literally started welling up and I said, please don't repeat that again because it is so devastating to hear. And so we're going to say what did my daughter came up with a good word. What did she tell me to say? She says it's probably a little bit more appropriate and less really into your face. Displaced youth. Displaced youth. Displaced youth and youth at risk. Teenagers. So displaced teens and teens at risk, meaning they cannot stay in their home because they could risk their I would say mental health, their physical health, and therefore other health. And it's very sad, actually. And so one of the people who work in this home said that they would like to see these kiddos to get some kind of bedding. She would be happy with store-bought bedding, but she would also love a quilt, because a handmade quilt to these teens will kind of show them that someone in this world cares about them. And everything they've gone through. So The words she said mortified me. I understand. My daughter said it's old language that they used in the field of social work. Um, so we're gonna say it with those other words. And so therefore they are looking for twin size. I told her to get exactly what size they were looking for. Yes, that someone loves them. And she would like them to have this so they wake up on Christmas morning on something special to open up. I'm sure, these homes, they get stuff that, probably, because I myself donate to like underwear and socks, and maybe there's a wish list item, but she really wanted that because when you're in these situations, you can't take everything with you when you're on the go if you have to move from house to house or anything like that. And yes, absolutely, Jordy, they would appreciate anything. That's why when she put it out there, she said if you have a quilt in, she didn't even ask for a new one. She's like, if her post, and my friend shared me this lady's post, said maybe you have a quilt that you're not using, or a comforter you're not using in your home. Wouldn't you like to rehome it with a teen in need? And then of course I got talk. My friend showed me this, sent me this, and said, I thought of you, Leanna, especially since it's in our community. So I didn't even know this home existed. I do know the organization and I know, about that. So then I said, please give that lady my phone number and information. So the lady immediately contacted me and she says, I'm working with the coordinator. So she's going to go back to the coordinator on Tuesday and have a big power and say, let's pull let's pull the posts. I have a quilter who's ready to take it on. I'm taking it on fully, a full take on. I'm taking 100% responsibility for this. I don't want them to get someone's used quilt from their closet. I want them to have a nice, beautiful handmade something. And I'm actually going to have to do a little bit more personal labeling. I haven't figured out the label yet, but I don't even want to put our generic Pastry Queen label on there in Peeps. I will have Pastry Queen and Peeps, but I want some kind of poem like you matter, you're strong, you're like just something very empowering for the teen. Because in all actuality, it would only be, and my daughter explained this to me, in all actuality, they'll be allowed to take like their stuffy and their quilt and a backpack full of clothes. That's the truth fact. So I want to make this a very personal, tailored quilt. Now, am I going to know the kids? No, she's not going to know the kids because they won't even know who comes and who goes by the time Christmas comes. But we're all going to know there's either 15 beds or 20 beds in the house. She thinks it's 15 beds in the house. Just let her know when you figure it out. I have to wait until next. No, don't worry about paying that forward because I'm going to show you something. I'm actually, a pillowcase would be a great idea. Melanie, I love that idea. And I did not think of that. So you know what? Maybe that's what I'll ask you all is pillowcase because I got the tops. I went through here and I pulled out the tops. Okay, because there were tops in here that I thought that I could sell at some point, long arm and sell because they're bigger than a throw. But that's not happening. They are getting gifted to this. I took a picture to it. I told the lady, don't worry. I said, I know I told you I'm going to take this whole thing on. I am not joking. I showed her a picture of the tops already done. I said, all I have to do is fundraise for batting and backing. And before that could even come out of my mouth, the lady who shared this information with me already Venmo'd me last night. She asked me for my Venmo last night because she doesn't do PayPal. And I'm waiting on that to see. So I'm not asking anything from anyone just yet, except know that we are going to be collaborating, working on this, because at some point I know there's going to be more backing. But I talked to Anna and I have fat quarters. I can also piece fat quarters together. And so the only thing I am thinking that I would possibly ask out there is, I love the idea of the pillowcase. So sure, bring it on. Let's get 20 pillowcases. If anybody wants to make a pillowcase, just know that we don't know if it's going for a boy or a girl or whatever. We don't know. So just make it very just neutral. And teenagers, we're not going to put like Dora the Explorer on there, even though in some of my quilts, they're more of an I Spy, I'm going to go through them. An I Spy, like, kind of scrap quilt. But, like, it could be basic colors. It could even be gray and black. It could be tan or whatever. Just whatever. Like, teenage. I don't even know what teenagers like anymore except for their cell phones. So I don't know. But you know what I mean. So that's something that I could ask y'all to don't, whoever wants to send me some ready-made pillowcases, I will take those. And the only other thing is, I will be going in, not today, because I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how much Venmo this one lady's sending me. And then I'll be ordering some backing. And then I will also be probably putting on my Amazon, but it doesn't have to come from Amazon. It can come from anywhere. I'll probably put twin size batting. I was talking with Anna. Instead of a roll of batting, I rather just have packages of twins, so that this way it could be easier on me, because I'm not feeling that great, but I definitely do want to get that done. So this way I can open up whatever package and open up the batting that's twin size and just put it on my long arm. If my long arm comes back after this. If not, I have a backup plan for the long arming. So I think we're going to be okay with the long arming. If I can't do it, I have a cutie frame. And so I will, Anna will come over and set it up in my house, and I will do it that way. Charlotte has a residence of teens called the Relatives. The kids stay several months, get educated, work skills, so they can become. It gets tons of money from the county and fundraising. So Joydy, this does not. This is a family of Woodstock. This has been around forever, right in the middle of Woodstock, New York. And they run by local donations from local. And they put out all the time, like when they're looking for bunk beds, when they're setting up a family, if they're looking for this, if they're looking for that. This house is run, this is one of many of their homes. So I do think they get some funding from the county, but it's not anywhere near where it needs to be. So, but right now it's looking good. So let's see. Let me bring some of the tops over. I thought we were gonna make this short and sweet. I took all this with me. Thank you, Laura Lynn. Good morning, Melanie. You know what? I didn't say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Joydy. If I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I brought these over to her house last night because I figured she could help me measure. We'd measure and tag each quilt to know if it needs extra borders, if it needs a piece border, what it needs in order to get it. I'm going to assume it's going to be 60 by 80. According to my fat quarter shop, a twin is 63 by 87, according to Fat Quarter Shop. But the lady's going to give me the size. So I have to go on that. So I'm estimating that it's probably going to be the size of a Quilt of Valor. I'm going to assume. So what I did is I went ahead and pulled quilts that are just scrap quilts. So there is no saying, and some of these do, some of these lean to a little bit being more feminine. I will assume that people who work there will know what the child would like. So you know what this is? This is the string bean. Was this the string bean? This is a string bean quilt. I think this is the string bean quilt. Who did the string bean quilt? Oh my gosh, Pat Sloan. Pat Sloan. This was one of her March things, and she did a string bean quilt. So you can get it on, I guess. Does she even have a website anymore? I don't know. I read something that she may not. You take a regular block, a rectangular block, and you put it in, and then you almost do like a log cabin style situation. But of course, I got to be different. I've got to be different. So I took my crumbs and I made the centers all out of crumbs. And then I went ahead and did like a log cabin style situation. So these are my bigger quilts. And I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you what size this is. So I may have to shave this down. This may be too big. I might have to cut down this border to fit the size, but I did do that. So it's way too big. But you know, I kind of just pulled this out. Now this leans to more feminine. So you know what? It's okay. They told me that's okay. This, you have seen this. This is the ginger quilter quilt with the bows and the dashes. So we'll have that. And these were all okayed. I'm just, you know, I just have to measure everything and get it to the size they want. I don't know if this is too loud for a teenager. But it is going to be what it is. Remember this? This is very 80s. This got to be an 80s kind of. So I have this quilt. And this is really big. So I have that one. And you know, when we are finished with them, we will do a parade of our quilts. Here we are. This here, oh, this is the one we just did. We just did this one, remember? This is Jamie's pattern, the quilting compound. We did, no it isn't. This is not Jamie. This is my pattern that I made. Listen to me. Hola, Johnny. This is the quilt that I made up on Jelly Roll Day when I was playing. I'm sure someone else has something like it, but this is what I did on Jelly Roll Day. So if you recall, I made 2 of these. The exact same thing. It's the one block. The one that I did that, it was Jamie's. I sent that to Quilt of Valor. But did you see her? She dropped that new video and she put pumpkins and leaves in that same pattern. I love it, but I can't stop and do I like to stop and do stuff, but I can't. I'm on a... So we'll measure this and see, add it to, this is the same pattern where it's that one block. This time, instead of black and gray or black and white, I just use the offcuts. So it's completely scrappy. And instead of vertical, this one goes horizontal, right? I think. I don't recall. So we'll have this one. So as you can see, I'm just going with very scrappy so that it is neither here nor there. This one is on the fence. So I pulled out probably 25. I want the lady to see and pick the ones that she likes. Now, we made this on together. And we were going to make this for a girl, but then they left before I could give it to them. Like the next day I went to school and they were gone. So I have this and it's a little, you know, it has this pink border, but it just has this center. So one of 2 things can happen with this. I can get rid of this border, cut it off. I could leave it as little and then add more to this because this is big. Remember, I was making this big for that family. So we can work with this top. We can work with this top. So I don't have to sew anything. I just have to get it to the size it needs to be and get it long arm. Whether I may ship these out to someone and get them long armed if that's not going to work. Because I may do some on the cutie, but I'm thinking of someone in my head to ask. So I may ship these out to them. And so you remember this, these were the cutoffs that I had, plus the extra cafe I had. So this is one I could extend. I did some research on potato chips and I forgot they can be any sizes. It just has to be a 2-to-1 ratio. I was thinking of I've done that. I've done a Jarly Bar potato chip block. I almost pulled it out for them because it's super cute. Oops. But it has chickens and it's very pastel. And I said, I don't think teens probably would want that. Then these are the ones from Puerto Rico. It's a good thing I did all those scrap. Remember I did all those scrap quilts in Puerto Rico. They came in handy. Because here I have this one. And this will have to be extended. This one's too small. So this one is going to definitely need more borders. And I have a couple of outer space panels. I mean, even though I have plenty here, I may play with those outer space panels just because. And then we have the panel challenges. Remember the panel challenges from Soft Squares? So, you know, this is probably more of a feminine thing, but it's big. And yeah, I'm going to throw it in there. I mean, she said they can be very masculine and feminine. I was trying to give her mostly some that can go either way so that she didn't have to think about it. But she is going to get some that clearly, right? Yes. Yep. Let's see. Oh, white. Okay, there. I think I did a potato chip block with Vegas. So we have that. I definitely have people that I can get to come and one day, just because I do need help to just measure and label. Could be my honey. He may be the one. We may do this together. That may be our project together. They do, guys. Like butterflies, it has nothing to do with, I don't care. I can go to whoever they want it to go to. I figured they know their residents better than me. So I'm going to give them options. So we have another panel here. And so we have that one. That's going to go. And then I don't know why all these panel quilts I made for Soft Squares ended up being so big. They just ended up being ginormous. But here we are. Here's another one. So really, I couldn't have done this without, you know, some of our, you know, quilt shops. You know, Soft Squares donated a lot of that. I can't do without you. I have Carmen who donated a lot for me that has gone down. Now, Natalie, the ginger quilter, has no idea. I'm actually going to contact her and let her know that those quilts that I've made, that some of them are going to this. And then here is another one. Oh, I forgot I did this. This one's an old quilt. This is a long time, but this may be too big. I think I made this for my bed. I don't know. We'll have to, if this is too big, this may not be able to go. But I'll show it to you. Here we are. Morning, Regina and Jennifer. Anyone else? Oh, Joe, good morning. So this may not go. It looks too big. I mean, we'll measure it. If it measures, they get it. If not, it is going to... I think I made this for my bed. This is a long time ago. Long time ago. I thought this was much smaller than... but not. This was a fun scrap quilt that I made. This was fun. This was a technique. This wasn't even a pattern. What did I do? I think I did a square, a solid square, bordered the square again, and cut it in 4. That's what I think I did. Maybe we should do that. Maybe I should do a tutorial on this quilt because it goes by super quick, super easy. It's a technique. It's not even like I want to say recipe. Hi, Mary G. A king size cut in half, 2 twins. Oh, good idea. If it is, maybe I can. Look at that. Let's see. Well, that doesn't seem to be because this is right here. That's 70. It's 80 across. It's 80 across. I would have to take some off. to make it a twin. But I may do that. I mean, this one came, I mean, I'm telling you, it came together so quick. All right, we'll put that there. Let me get the other bag. I don't even know what number of quilts I'm on. The funny thing is you always are seeing me rush and do a quilt for a pass it forward because I'm always trying to do a throw. And these are all my bigger quilts I had underneath there for like beds to sell. You know, those dreams of selling your quilts, that just doesn't. And Deb, I did say hello to you, right? So this is another big one. I don't know what size this one is. But here's another one. This, I believe it's like one of those barn hole things. It's just, you can't see it where the center is a center and it goes out from there. And it's just half square triangles and 4 patches. And it's a complete scrappy quilt. I wish I could show you this. Oh, say hello, Regina, to them. I could not go this year, as you know, because there we are. But there it is. Okay, we have that. Again, some of these may be too big, and then we just go to plan, you know, between this, what I have here, I can pull out maybe some other things that are workable. But we definitely have the tops here. It's just a matter of backing and batting. And I may reach out to, like I may be reaching out to other people if I can't do. So you saw this. I made this in Puerto Rico. This one may be too big as well because this was on my full-size bed. But it was only on the top, so I'm thinking it may be a twin. They don't want it any bigger because remember, they are children. These teens have to move, right? Sometimes. Okay, that one I made in Puerto Rico. This one I made in Puerto Rico. This is nice and big. I think this is definitely a twin. We have that. And this one here, did I do this in Puerto Rico? I don't even know where I did this. I think we did this together on this channel, actually. And this is big. And this is easy because as you can see, you see how the sides have a lot of borders. I can just keep adding these borders right onto it to make it to the size it needs to be. And it's got a little bit of everything. It's more of like an I Spy quilt. So I feel like I can just keep adding borders to this until it gets to that. You're sending to teens. Yes, it's a teen home. It's a home for teens. So I don't think these are at-risk youth. And they're displaced youth. I did this one in Puerto Rico. Again, I think I could just keep adding borders to this. And it may only need one more border. Now this I think is too big, but I pulled it out anyway. I mean, you know, I'm going to try to work with what I have already made up. So this is a Fabric Cafe pattern. I forgot what it's called, and I use strips instead of just a regular block of fabric. I went ahead and used crumbs. So this I feel like could use 2 borders or maybe 1 border. And I leave the black and just add 1 more. And it just a scrappy border too at that. Hello, Alan. Oh, never mind. He's been timed out. He must have been naughty. What size are they asking for? Like a 3-year quilt? No. So they're asking for a full twin. I have them. That's not an issue. I've got the tops. I've got the tops. These are all workable. There's still more workable tops in there, whether they need to be cut down or add a border or 2. Again, and I have to see what this person is sending me. I'm pretty sure she said it was for backing. So what I will be asking for anybody who wants to help, no, there's no pressure. It'd be twin size batting, packaged twin size batting sent to here. But before I do that, we have to wait because I have to find out about my long arm, because if not, and I send these out, I'm not going to send these out and then ship the batting to that person. No. So I will just then send it to wherever it needs to be sent. And Anna, with my machine this morning, don't get me started. Just wanted to let you know, heads up. I know we were talking about how much easier it would be to quilt that quilt you have to quilt at my house, but now the machine is down. We'll get it going. So again, this is a crumb quilt. This is actually Dash. I do remember this pattern. This is a Fabric Cafe pattern called Dash. And I, again, just use strips and crumbs. I did get Honey's quilt quilted. Being very frustrated, but I got it. I got to put the binding on it. And then here's another one of them. These are all ones I've made in Puerto Rico because, as you know, I take my scraps to Puerto Rico and I do stuff. So a lot of these were made in Puerto Rico. This is another one that was made in Puerto Rico. This pattern came from the Opinionated Quilter. I don't know if you know who that is. There's a lady called the Opinionated Quilter, and she has a couple of scrap ideas to do. And this was one of her videos. Hi, Jamie. I was just talking about you and your new drop where I want to drop everything and make that quilt. So this is another top. So once I go through, I'll get a good feel of how many tops I need, how many tops I have, how many tops need, something added or something taken away. I doubt I'm short tops, but if I'm short tops, I'm sure someone has a twin top sitting in a bucket somewhere and they're willing to donate it. I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried about the batting than I am anything else. And at that, I'm not even worried about that. So here's another one of those. These are all half square triangles, but this is super big. This is another super big one, so I'm not sure if this is going to work. But it does have, look at this, it does have a very, very big border. So I want to measure from the inside of this because I could just cut, like, if it just means that I have to cut the border down to this, then I'm going to cut the border down to this, and this is going to get quilted and loved. So this is so big. So that's where we're at. So that's my new kind of thing that I will be working on. Again, if you're on here, I think it was Melanie who brought up the idea of pillowcases would be so lovely to go with the quilt, and I love that idea. So if you're game and you want to make one of those pillowcases, hopefully like where the seams are though finished off, so either French seams or serged seams or zigzag seams on the inside, I will collect those. I will, because you know what? We can put the quilt in there and the child then has a way to store their quilts when they are on the go. So I love that idea. This is why I'm on here, because we are a family and we all take each other's ideas, and I loved that idea. So for right now, it's just looking like pillowcases if someone wants to make pillowcases. And also when I say go, we'll decide. I'm still deciding on the twin size pre-packaged batting because that would be easy. Again, it has to be, excuse me, I have to see what's going on with my long arm, because if I'm doing it myself, then I'm going to put it on my wish list, and then as they come in, I will quilt a quilt. But if it's not, and I find someone that is willing to take this on as a pass it forward, because they have a business that they do this for, if they feel like they can help me out in any way, then I'm not going to do that. I'll ask you just to purchase the batting from their store, since they're going to be doing and donating their time. But I've got to reach out to some that I know. Yes, a burrito one would be great. What size would the pillowcases be? I have no idea, because I've made those burrito pillowcases a handful of times, honestly. I've only made them probably 5 times. It's just the standard pillowcase size. I would say 1 would be great. Wait, who? Sherry offered to help quilt earlier, I think. Well, if you would like to, I just don't want to mail things back and forth. So, Sherry, but if you would like to, give me a call and let me know. I say that because the person that if I can't do it here, because, shipping is expensive. So it's going to cost me X amount of dollars to ship it to Sherry, and then Sherry, X amount of dollars to ship it back. That's why I'm hoping that this, because I could bang these out. Just give me a week and they'll all be done. But I got to find out what's up with that. Like I said, I just prefer to send it to this one business if they're game, if they're up for it, because they have automation too. If they're up for it, I would love to do it that way. This way, the cost of the shipping goes one way and one way back. Yes, standard size. Standard size. Can you list it in Discord, please? Yes. And maybe I could find like a Missouri Star is how I learned how to make a burrito pillowcase. That's how I learned. So I know this organization that I'm doing this with, they were going to do this through Project Linus, but they were having difficulties going through Project Linus. I think it's because of the size of the quilt. Maybe you could talk someone into loaning you a floor model machine for a good cause. Andrew, there's no place around here. I had to get that shipped from Utah. There's absolutely no place for me to go to long arm, whatever, around here for me to buy a long arm. So there's no floor model. Back in the day, I used to rent. I used to go to a quilt shop and rent one, but there's not even that. So we'll see, but I've got the tops and I can start working on purchasing some batting from someone who's Venmoing me stuff, and I don't know how much they're sending, but I'm sure I could find good deals. So that's where we're at, but that's my mission for that. Let's go to opening up mail, because I'm out here much longer than I told Honey I was going to be on for, but that's okay. He's okay with that, because, oh, sorry, we're moving. We're moving. Oh, labels. A floor model machine for a good one for labels. Oh, I don't know. I have to come up with a really kind of, I know who I could contact to help me with. I think now that I'm back at work, the IT guy does a lot of volunteer work for the library, the local library. I'm sure if I go to him and ask him, he can do something up and we can come up together. Hi, Sandy. About some, I don't know, a quote or something that's very powerful and uplifting. I want that on there. I also want it on the corner of the quilt so that it's sewn into the corner. And with that said, we have our first thing here from Linda, our peep Linda. Oh, and then I got to talk to you about work. You don't even know about work because I was so excited about that. We're going to help teenagers. I totally forgot about work. I hope the kiddos enjoy this, Linda. So I think I know what this is. And I think maybe someone else may be sending me one too. I think Jessica may be sending me one too. And there's a need for more than one. I'm going to tell you there's a need for more than one. So I'm going to save that bag because I always need bags. And so it is, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is so cute. So I'm going to laminate this at school because we have a laminator. I'm going to laminate this so that it doesn't get gross because this will get, I'm going to laminate this. I love this. Look at this. Oh, they're going to love it. Oh, how cute. Okay. So it's a fidget quilt. And there is a need for more than one because these become arguments, especially now. So let me tell you why there's going to be a need for more than one of these. So I am now the staff member for the library and the art room. Yes. Well, thank you, Melanie. Hi, Raven. Hi, Aunt Beck. So I am in the art room and I am in the library. I actually should say I'm in the library and then in the art room. I'm probably more in the library than I am in the art room. So I asked the library. Oh, and I have my desk and office is in the library next to the librarian. We're together. I have a beautiful view. I have a window I can open for nice fresh air. I have a mountain view. Gorgeous. And I said, so what's your wish list? What is it that you get? She goes, yeah, I hear you organize and you make spaces into like unbelievable things. And I need your help with that. So yes, 2 days. She said that another staff member walked in and she goes, it's only been 2 days since she's back and look at what she's done already. And so she wanted a little crafty area for the kiddos to be very, very creative. I see a sewing machine in the library. Library's quiet time. But anyway, yeah, you'll probably see that. I'm not going to lie. But you probably won't see it in the library. You're probably going to see it in the art room because I'm in the art room too. So, which is great because to me, those are the best 2 rooms of the whole building. And I have helped out, but I have never been actually like be able to be with the teachers and like we could talk and collaborate and it's just fabulous. So, so we are ready. She says, I had this little space. It's not that great, but I know you can puzzle anything together. I was like, yep, I'm a quilter. We cut things down and we put it together in whatever space amount that we have, right? So she says, well, these 2 racks are just a nightmare and they're all kinds of like crafty things, but I really can't use them. And I got it down to 1 rack all done up. I mean, I'm going to pat myself in the back because I can't believe I did in 2 days, but it looks beautiful and I can't wait for the kiddos. And then we have like a little writing center. So we haven't been able to do anything with the crafts, but at least they're all organized. I'm going to put labels on all the bins tomorrow. And then before I left, I made a little area where there's going to be puzzles and games, quiet games that kiddos can do because, you know, you can come in the library when it's not library time. And no wonder you're so tired. I will say I never sat down for 2 days. I was on my feet. Everybody's like, Leanna, you have to sit down. Leanna, you have to sit down. But I was so excited to see the kids. And the kids were so excited to see me. I mean, every time I turn around, Miss Nieves, we missed you. It was so cute. It's just everywhere in the building. When I walked, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, it was just super sweet. Oh my goodness, so many hugs and so many kiddos all excited. And then when they saw that I was in the library and in the art room, they really got excited. And oh, it's precious. It really is. And so anyway, so I've been working on that section. And then before we left, she said she had a closet that's a nightmare too, that has like office supplies and crafts and games, and it's just a mishmash. When she didn't know what to do with anything, she said, honestly, I just shoved it in that closet. So I took that whole closet apart. And I put everything back where it needed to be. And I said, so now instead of having these decorations out, we'll put the decorations that you decorate the library with. We put those in. I also stayed overtime because I just was excited, and the kiddos would excite me, and so I found the Halloween box of decorations. So I pulled that out, and then so I decorated the whole library with the Halloween decorations. Before I left after school, I went around and decorated. So when they come in Monday morning, a magical thing happened in the library because it's all now spooktacular. And for their mental health. Yes. And so then we found all like the writing and reading activities. So the table that I have where the puzzles, they're on a shelf, they can pull them off. We had the whole activity that she did with them last year. So we'll work on that next week with the kiddos. Oh, it's going to be so much fun in there. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And so she loves it because when last year I went into the library for one library class, and she's like, can I keep you? I was like, you can keep me, but they got me up there. And so she gets to keep me with the librarian unless something happens, because there's always shifts in schools. But I check out the kids. The kids get their books. I sit there on the computer. I check them out, and she can actually like teach and help the kids pick out books, which is much better, right? Because it's hard to check out the kids' books and yet help a kid and the little ones. And so we had a good system for the one class. So now we have a good system for now. She doesn't get me for all the classes. She has to share me with the art teacher, because I had one art class with the art teacher last year too. She says, I need you for every class. So I'm between the two of them. Not too spooky. We don't do too spooky. We do fun spooky. So there's nothing spooky actually. We just do fun. It's like jack-o'-lanterns with smiley faces and googly eyes, and it's it's an elementary school. I have she had a web, and it had this ugly little black spider on it, and I put a nice big spider that was like plastic spider that was this big, and it was like coated in purple glitter. So it's a glitter spider on there. So no, it's fun Halloween in there. It's not spooky or scary Halloween. I don't do spooky, scary Halloween. So I have to sleep at night. And then I put my quilt up, my ginger quilter ghost quilt up behind my desk. The library yes. So it's great. And so there's another corner. She said she wanted a reading nook corner. She says, kind of like that little corner you had last year in the hallway for, I called it the peace, right? Did I call it the peace corner? She's like, I want something like that, but like around where they can also get to books. So I have a peace corner that I made in that section, because I said, well, if we pull these out and we rearrange those to there and this and that, and she's like, this is why I needed you, because I knew that there was a way to configure to have all this. So we have a peace corner. It's not completely done. This will be in the peace corner. And I will have a couple other, fidget blankets and stuff like that. Variety, right? Because we need variety. There's audio books in that little corner, and there's regular books, obviously. And then she's got these 2 bean bags she ordered last year, which they need a lot of beans. They're like missing the beans. We don't know. They are very flat. We don't get what these bean bags are. And I said, that's so funny, because last year I got like a not so beanie bag. And what I did is I used all of this to make it more of a beanie bag, and it was great. And so I said, I have only one big one because I just made all these doggy beds and they're gone. So I said, as I make more scraps, we'll just keep filling this sucker up until it's filled up. I'm 10 minutes from the Colombian airport. Oh, wow. You were in Colombia? That sounds like fun. Wait, I don't know. Okay, South Carolina. They're talking about something about South Carolina. Anyway, so we'll be filling up the bean bag as the weeks go by. But it's super cute. It really has come out super cute. And there's a little bench, and then we put it by the window, and I put little Halloween decorations up by the window and more audiobooks. So because yeah, I mean, it's a good little spot, especially when you have those kids who can't handle library class. Like I told her, just feel free. I said, she goes, I'm just not used to that. I said, just feel free to just send them over to my desk, and we'll do library reading, but we just won't do it with the class. Maybe I'll take them to the Peace Corner and we'll do it there together, or maybe we'll do a writing activity slash, educational game, and that little gaming crafting area that we've put together. I think it's going to be fabulous. And then I was in the art room. Oh, I should show you my art. Let me show you my art. I'm going to show you my art. I'm going to get up. I said I wasn't going to be on here long, but it's too much to share to you because I hadn't seen you all in so long. All right, I'm back. So, I'm going the wrong way. Here we are. Art. So I end Fridays in the art room. That's my last class. Love the zoo there. So Inktober. I know Aunt Beck Creations does Inktober because I watched one of her lives, a couple of her lives, probably more than a couple of her lives about Inktober. And I am not per se an artist in drawing. I am a cake artist. I actually had classes at the culinary called cake art. And yes, I feel like I'm a quilt artist. But when it comes to drawing, I'm more like a stick person artist. Unless it's graph paper, and then I do it like that. So I'm watching her lesson, and I learned a lot about Inktober. She told the kiddos all about Inktober. Hi, Rhonda. And how, I guess, yesterday's Inktober, right, Friday's Inktober had something to do with watercolor and maybe mushrooms. I need to do that today. It's been a lazy morning. So she had a big picture of this. And then she had these little handouts about mushroom making. And she had a storybook, and we read about this magical mushroom. I don't even remember what the book was called, but it was beautiful. These big, beautiful, bright colored mushrooms and whatnot. And in the illustrations, they looked very watercolor-like. And so she did her whole lesson, and I learned a lot. It's going to be great because I learned a lot. So she begins to do wet on wet watercoloring and how to do it. And you have your watercolor, and then you have your bucket of ink. And she had the old-timey ink pens and these buckets of ink. And so you had your choice of using an old-fashioned ink pen or a very, very thin, you could transfer that to fabric, a very, very like thin brush. So now Aunt Beck says we can transfer this to fabric. Yes, we can. You can absolutely transfer this to fabric. This could probably be for those folks who cut out all that stuff to make, now you're giving me thoughts, and I don't even do that, applique and mushroom quilt. So yes, so we got that. So she does the water on water. So you have your bucket of water, you have your paintbrush, and she goes, okay, so now we're going to look at these books. And she has 3 dimensions. She's got mushrooms everywhere for kiddos to get any kind of way they want to have to do the mushrooms, okay? So she's sitting there, and she's like, we're going to do this whole color thing. You don't have to do one mushroom. You can do multiple mushrooms, and mushrooms have different shapes and texture and sizes and yada, yada, yada. So she takes the water and she puts down the water, just regular water on watercolor paper. And then she says, now we're going to do the wet on wet. So when you take the watercolor and you put it on there, it kind of spreads and feathers and does its thing, which is kind of cool. Okay. So I was just enamored as the kids were. And so she's going on, and then she goes, and then I'm going to make this mushroom. And she goes on to the steps of how to make this particular mushroom. And then she goes, and now I like that mushroom in that book, and I'm going to kind of mimic what that looks like. And she's doing her thing. And then these kiddos are older. And my thing was, after her lesson was, I was to sit with a group of kiddos so they can finish their monsters. Because I guess the week before when I wasn't there, they were doing monsters, and they were these giant cardboard monsters, and these kids come up with the ideas and makeup. And some of those kiddos, wait, it is permanent once dry and heats at yourself some ink tints and paint on fabric. Oh, look at that. So she's, so I'm working with those kiddos, and then, but like these were 5th graders or 4th graders. I don't know. They were 4th or 5th graders. I don't know my schedule yet. And the one kiddo, I had him in kindergarten. So we were just sitting there talking. He's like, oh, Miss Evans, I'm so happy you're here. So he's painting his monster. And so the teacher comes over and gives me some of this, because she goes, it's very encouraging for kiddos to see other adults even try to draw, even if it's not their thing. Because I told her that's not my thing, but I'm happy to do it. So, I want the kiddos to see that I have struggles just like they have struggles, and I'm learning just like they are. So he's doing his monster thing. I had two boys, and I'm doing mine. We're having conversation, and everybody's, doing their thing. This is my mushroom, my wet on wet. And then they're like, Miss Nieves, you draw really well, and look at how you put the different colors in. And we were talking about that. They are it's infectious. Thank you, Sandy. So we were just having a great conversation. He goes, what if you put a little purple there? So I was like, okay, let's try a little purple there. So this is my whacked out mushroom. I tried to make these things here. I tried to do that. I only maybe got to do this little thing. If you notice here where I tried to do those little green things, it didn't really look like the picture. There's another one. So I just added more water to blend it all in. I tried. And then I'm like, what? I don't know. There's a hot mess going on, because you see that there? I don't know. After looking at this, obviously that was wrong. And now it looks like an eyeball with a lot of eyelashes. Hey, it's all good. It's my first watercolor mushroom, I could happily say. I said to her, you should have told me it was mushroom day. I would have worn my mushroom overalls. Yes, I have mushroom overalls and a mushroom dress. And they were both bought in Woodstock. And then the kids could have had textile version of mushrooms. I thought they were monster arms to match. Yeah, I guess I could have put eyeballs on here and made that mushroom. I was in a class with 1st graders. Yes, I was in a 1st grade class in the morning for art class. So, 5th graders, obviously, it's more like art. It's more like sip and paint, except for nobody's sipping. It's just, chat and paint. That's what we'll call it, chat and paint or chat and art, because they're older. The kids are older. And so they're chatty, but they're also very focused. And she's like, this is great. This is why I love adults in my room, because it's more of a cafe setting. It's more, the kids are more calmer doing their art. And we just are, having ideas against each other, like add a little bit of pink or a little bit of this. With the 1st grade, not so much, right? 1st grade is more like, what did we do in 1st grade? Oh, the kiddos drew 2 animals. So the Wild Things was the book that was read. And the illustrations of the Wild Thing are animals that have different textures. Listen to me giving art class. Different textures and mixing of the 2 animals together. And so the kiddos were doing their own version of those kinds of creatures. But we had kiddos who are of another language, and therefore she did her spiel, and then those kids were there, and then I went over and I whispered to their ears what they need. I said, do you need help? Do you understand what to do? And they'd be like this, and then I would tell her, and she goes, this is what they've been missing for months. Someone transcribing what I'm saying to them so they know what to do. Though they're very smart, and like she said, they catch on when they look around the class. But it's so nice for them to be able just to start with art because they know what to do. So yes, so that was fun, but it's just different, right? Because the fifth graders, we were chatting and working together. The first graders, it was more translation and then helping, you know, because you just do, you know, they would be confused and they'd be like, I don't understand two animals. And then I would pull the book out and say, hey, look at these feet. These feet have claws, but this other character in this book has soft, furry feet. So I said, you can make the feet however you want. And then the one boy goes, well, I want to make a penguin. And that's what it was. He said, I want to make a penguin and a fish and put them together. So I wanted to have like a penguin face, but a fish body. So I brought over the three-dimensional characters. And I'm like, well, just start taking off the top here and then make the bottom like this. And then you had the two. A meringue mushroom. I'm reading. Yes, I've made lots of meringue mushrooms for Yule logs. And then I painted the little dots like with food coloring. But when she had hers, she had a big piece of paper, so she had tons of different mushrooms on hers. I had to be quiet. I got to remember that I'm with kiddos and be quiet because I wanted to say, well, where's the Smurf? But the kids, I don't even know if the kids know what a Smurf is. Because to me, it looked like a Smurf village, and I needed like a little tiny green Smurf running through it. But then I didn't want to be the clown of the class, so... I mean, you know, we have to have fun too. I'm sure if I said that, all the kiddos would be cracking up, and then we'd have Smurfs on the plate. And that's not the object of the room, was not to make Smurfs on your plate. But, you know, I'm sure she would have been fine with it. Ooh, I sprinkle mine with cocoa. Yes, cocoa and powdered sugar. So I have one other. I carefully cut this. And this is from Anna in Virginia. Oh, never mind. I see her tag name. She wrote it on here. Okay, so I see her tag name. So she's not on the live stream right now, but I'm sure you'll be on the live stream at some point. She says, oh, that's kind of funny. I wonder if I could, she didn't say I can't share this. Okay, so long story short, she's sending me chicken fabric that she does not need. I've not needed. It's all several years old, but has been kept in my fabric room. It's fine. Fabric doesn't have an expiration date. It's a funny story how she got this fabric, but I don't know. It's a personal family story, so we probably shouldn't say that. But I think that's kind of funny. What is this? Oh, meringue. Okay, so she says it's in good shape, and it needs this time to be sewn. I have more fabric than I can ever use, so anytime you need some for charity projects or just to keep sewing, I'm happy to share. And thank you for reminding us all that giving our work to others really matter. And that's true. Giving this to the teens matter more than me one day quilting it up and trying to make some money. That's honestly, it's been there. It's fine. I rather see someone who needs it. I really do. They can always be replaced. As you can see how I sew, they can be replaced quickly. So let's look up the story of the chicken story. So I'll say it's family drama, but I love the story. Maybe she'll say you can share the story because I love this story. Okay, so she bought all this not for herself, for a member of her family. And no, there wasn't a falling out. But it made me chuckle. It made me chuckle because I can relate with change of theme, right? We all do that. Like my kitchen right now is totally chicken everything. But who's to say that by the time I get around to sewing it, that I'm still going to be chicken. For all I know, it could be some other thing that I'm into. So I totally understand it. I sprinkle my, oh, I got that. Okay, so this is 1 yard, she says. I'm just putting this aside so you can see it. And so we have some that look like this. We have a yard of this. Basically, the gist of the story is, can't tell you the story is, I'm sure we all have this. You buy stuff because you want to make it for someone, but by the time you get around making it, they have changed their idea and theme. That's the moral of the story. Oh, look at all this. Oh, my honey's going to love this because it says French countryside. Look at those. Those are really great placemats. Look at that. So these that say Roosters of France, that's going to have to go in my Puerto Rico kitchen, right? Because we got like that French provincial look going on in there. Oh, that's cute. And we will have a set of 8 placemats. Look at that. So these I may have to work on these in Puerto Rico. This may be going right into my suitcase because then I can make it there. It gives me stuff to make while I'm there. Let me put this on here. Okay, so there's 3/4 of the yard of this. And again, farm fresh. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So these could all, I can use all this for the backs of these placemats. And then this is just a piece to add to my red, white, and blue stash. There's a yard of it. And we are always needing red, white, and blue. So fabric, that's always a need. So we will definitely, oh no, that wasn't the yard. This was, no, that was the yard. I'll have to look back, but I think that's right. Yeah. So thank you. You know who you are. You didn't give me permission to say, and your tag name has incognito in it, so I don't want to, to out you. So there we are. Thank you so much. New fabric, new things. Connecting Threads has 80/20 batting on sale for 25% off twin. It is $19.99 originally. Well, there you go. We'll be looking for all those sales. Right now, there is no buying happening to the house. I cannot wait. I think I get my first paycheck in 2 weeks. I haven't seen one of those since June, so that will be a lovely thing. But with that said, I basically showed you everything. I got you caught up on my on my school life. I got you caught up on some projects I'm working on here and there. I'm not very focused right now, other than that I want those quilts measured and figured out for backs and figured out for long arming. That I do want to have that. But besides that, it's just going to be chill sewing. Chill sewing for the whole season from October through December. We're just going to be creative and sew, and I am going to listen to my body when I'm tired. So there'll be mornings that yesterday I forgot to even tell you that I wasn't going live. I got up at 7:30 and I got moving on, and then I realized it in post. But I'm going to take so if I'm not well or something, I'm just not going to go on. I know you all understand. And maybe there'll be some times that if no one's on in the afternoon and I come home and I'm feeling good and I didn't do a live in the morning, maybe I'll do a pop-up in the afternoon. Right now, tomorrow is Monday morning. I'm planning on going on a live because we have no school tomorrow. So I would like to do that tomorrow morning, go on a live. Today, my plans are probably to unbox. Well, I already unboxed it. Rebox no, I probably shouldn't. I was going to say put the long arm back into the box to be shipped back, but we'll wait on that. Today, I'm probably done with the sewing room. I'm going to go downstairs Sunday. We're making a turkey, and we harvested some acorn squash. So we're going to have turkey, acorn squash, and sweet potatoes. So I'm going to get that going. And for lunch, we're having beautiful leftovers by Anna. Because she sent us home with lots of food. Love that. And anyway, that's really it. So I hope everyone has a great day. I hope you are all inspired for, I don't know, there's just so much inspiration out there right now. There's so much coming on our feed from the International Quilt Festival. I'm bummed that I'm not there, but I'm also happy I'm not there because that's an exhausting trip and my body is definitely not there yet. Definitely not there yet. So with that said, I should be able to see you tomorrow. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And oh, that sounds so good. And I will see you soon. If you'd like to make a pillowcase for these children, go for it. I'd say go for it. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.